What is happening, everybody? Mike and Corey Beth here. Hope you guys are doing awesome. Welcome to part 2 of our summer fat loss strategies. So we today, as I had promised, are going to talk a little bit more about mindset. Yesterday, I got a lot into some of the tactics, the things that I personally do. Just as a quick review, what do you do in those random moments where you get invited to a party or an after work thing and you don't want to turn it down? So I set my rules as I'm either going to indulge in a little bit of food or I'm going to indulge in drink, but never both of those things together. And then plan for next day, fast a little bit longer, drop the carbs, drop the fat, whatever needs to be done to make up for some of what was done the day before. And then we also briefly talked about how you and we laid out our calendar for the summer, which, yes, I see it right over there, which had more to do about planning for, what are we going to do with the kids? What about this vacation and that? And then that all automatically got me thinking about, well, what am I going to need to do nutritionally? Because that brings us to the next piece of this is what is your objective for the summer? And I covered 3 strategies or 3 paths with people, which is, some people have the plan on they're going to progress through the summer. They're not going to use this as a reason, an excuse to stop doing what they've been doing. They're going to still try to take those next steps. There are others who might just be in the mindset of, hey, I worked really hard to get to this point. Now I just want to maintain it during the summer and see how much I can enjoy myself without going nuts about is the scale moving or anything like that. And then lastly, there are those who, might have the mindset of, well, I'm just going to live it up over the summer and I will worry about the rest of this stuff in the fall. So
do you want to know what's really interesting, though, about this? And I want to follow your plan here today. But in discussing this, I personally never actually viewed the first path as a possibility. Like, I'm going to be really just honest right now. For me in the past, like the 10 years ago past plus, it was always like, whatever, it's the summer, it's already here. I didn't reach my goal. And so I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And I did. I definitely did do that. And I felt terrible come September, October. But I want to say, like, probably over the past 8 to 10 years, I've taken that medium approach where it was like, I'm just going to maintain. I'm going to enjoy myself, but I'm not going to push too hard. And I'm like, I've really been thinking about this, like laying out that vacation, right? I'm like, oh man, like, what if I keep on pushing? Can I do that? And you even saying this, we discussed the topics, obviously, before we get on the video. I'm like, how much more could I push it? How much better could I get? And until this summer, which I think is great for you guys to know, right? We're not sitting here saying that we're perfect. I've never even considered that as a possibility. So I'm actually really excited for the summer. And so now entering into that mindset, because that's really all it is. It's a mindset. How do we then take the next steps to make one of those paths happen? And hopefully your path is not like the third. Screw it, like whatever, it is what it is. Maintain it. Why are you going to give up on your work? Or why not make it better? I'm really excited for that this year.
Well, and I think where this is great. I love when this happens where you just kind of, threw that out there because it gave me actually a moment to think like, okay, strategically, what could people do if they maybe fall, and because we were talking with Sarah too, it's like, is there something between 1 and 2, like where I could still make progress, but also focus on maintaining? And you know what, in many ways there is. And I'm going to, for a moment, kind of go against what we typically preach to people, which is most individuals who we talk to maybe the first time, when they tell us what they do, what is it? It's that Monday through Friday, I eat healthy, and then they do their thing on the weekend. But imagine this, imagine taking somewhat of that mentality, but it's more like during the week, Monday to Friday, I'm going to push really, really hard. And your Monday to Friday is that intention of making progress. Whereas now that Saturday and Sunday, barring some vacation or again, one of those random moments, it's more about, okay, what do I do to maintain through this vacation? What do I do to maintain through this weekend while I go and enjoy myself? I mean, I think that strategically is also an opportunity for many people who might not be thinking that they could take multiple paths during this summer and not have to say, oh, it's black or it's white, it's this way or it's no way at all. I think that there's potential for both.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I think that the biggest thing is to decide, not just to like, oh, whatever happens, or I'm not really sure what's going on this week. In fact, we had a great Tuesday VIP mindset call this week. That was just yesterday. And what we really spoke about was, what is your intention going into that event or that time or this area of your life where you're maybe struggling a little bit. And one of the women on the call really talked about how family gatherings are triggers for her because she feels bad not eating the food. She feels guilty not taking part in the drink. There's all these emotions that come up. And I'm like, okay, but let's decide ahead of time what you're going to do going into it and have a plan for it. But really, it all just starts with decide, make a decision. I think decisiveness is incredibly sexy. I can't stand it when people never him, ever, me sometimes. It's like, I don't know, I'm not really sure. My mom always said growing up, she's like, not to decide is to decide. If you're literally there being like, well, it's the summer and I'm still really not sure, that's actually a decision. You're deciding that you don't care. And I'm just going to put that out there. And you guys know it comes from a place of love always, but make a decision about what you want your summer to look like and then take those steps because we always make decisions. Our life is a composition of all of our choices and decisions. And so what decisions are you going to make right now? Like declare it, proclaim it, put it in the comments. What is your decision? Are you path 1, path 1.5, as Sarah said, path 2, right? Or you're going to be path 3. Own it.
No, absolutely. There's not much more to say beyond that. I mean, I think that if there was any other place that we could go with this conversation, and I don't think maybe today is the day to do it, it's if you do make one of those decisions, and let's say it's decision 1 or 2 or 1.5, right? What are the potential points of sabotage? I mean, that's a big one. And I think that if we start thinking this through, get ahead of it, then we have a chance of actually being successful. When we look at the 4 aspects of sabotage, one of those aspects actually boils down to one word: because. Most people make their poor decisions because, and then it's fill in the justification. It's because it's vacation. It's because I don't want to look funny in front of my friends. It's because I don't want to let my grandmother down because she made this really great meal. That because for many of you is something that you should really think about, because you may be sitting here right now and you're going, man, Corey Beth got me fired up. I'm making this decision. I am definitely going to be a number 1. I am going to progress through this summer. But when those points of potential sabotage come up, is it going to be a because that gets you off track?
Wow.
And I think that if everybody starts giving just a little bit of consideration to just that right there, that's a big step for many of you.
That is so awesome. I mean, I hope it's okay. 20 more seconds. I want to share what I shared on the call. Like exactly. So crazy. We're just so connected. How connected we are on this. I know that when I go to a family gathering, there's going to be dessert. He is the disciplined one that can either say, no, thank you, or a taste and walk away. I am not. In fact, when it comes to what are they, chip witches? No control, like none, like scary, no control. I said to the women yesterday, like if I literally didn't know what I know about fitness and nutrition and probably hadn't met my husband, I could eat myself into 300 pounds. I mean, I'm putting that out there, right? Because we got to keep it real here. And so I know that if I get there and I haven't made a decision about what I'm going to do, I'm going to eat the chip witch and then I'm going to eat 3 more after that, just because that's what I do, just because that's what I've done in the past. And so I know ahead of time, I'm going to eat. I'm going to leave that big space and then maybe have a White Claw or just a plain seltzer, which I will always put in a fancy glass. And everybody always thinks it's alcohol. So if you feel weird about that, use the wine glass, put some bubbly and some ice, and nobody has to know what it is you're drinking. But beyond that, I know the desserts are coming out. I'm like, okay, yep, there they are. Yeah, the decision for me is just, it's got to be a no. And I think it's especially terrible at your sister's house. She makes like Oreo cookie balls. Like, I don't even know if they're fried or dipped or I don't know what they are. I just know that if I eat that, all bets are off. I know it's Pandora's box. It has been opened. I will eat everything that's there. I'll have to taste every sugar cookie so it's just better for me to say no. And I think that that's okay. We just have to know ourselves going into those situations, because if we know that you're the person like Mike, you can have a taste. But if you know you're like me, don't even go there. I don't even go there. It's better, it's safer, it's easier. And I know I'm not going to get into the car with you and drive home for 2 hours being like, oh, my stomach hurts. I wish I didn't do that. I mean,
Why, 'cause I have no sympathy?
No, but how many times has that happened over the course of our 11 years of relationship? That's a pretty frequent occurrence, actually, where I'm like, oh, why did I do that? And he's like, he just sits there and like smirks because, he's Mike and, you're welcome that you're not married to him and that I am, that I have to live with this. But truly, make the decision. Make your decision and stick to it. And if you need help, let us know, because we are more than happy. Obviously, it's our job, by the way. That's what we do, just in case you were wondering. So if you do need help, let us know that you need help, and we'll definitely guide you on the way, give you some steps, give you some strategies. And we had such a great call on Tuesday, really digging deep into this. We took a woman's entire situation, we mapped it all out, and she was like, yeah, total clarity. I feel great. She sent me a screenshot of her plan. I even have a time on Friday. I'm going to check in with her to see how she's going into the weekend, that she's going to follow and stick to it. And we do need that layer of accountability to really help keep us on track. But guys, it starts with your decision. So make it, stick to it, do it. You got it. We're here to support and cheer you on. And of course, if you need help beyond that, let us know.
Awesome, guys. Well, I think tomorrow will have to be a part 3.
All right.
And I think we're going to have to touch on identity, because that's the word that kept cropping up when you were saying all of that. I think we're going to be talking identity tomorrow with you guys, your summer identity.
Sounds good.
All right, guys, you have a great one. We'll catch you tomorrow.